us about kind of what you've done, what it felt like to be a teacher, a leader, things that went well, things that didn't.
One third-year medical student here. As somebody who applied to medical school successfully as a first-generation student, I just wanted to come on here and share some tips for anybody who is applying this cycle. So this video clip is from my event, the Pre-Med Experience, and this dean of medical school admissions is talking about how when they're evaluating applicants, they really don't care about your past, and that is a sentiment that was shared among all the deans that I interviewed that day. So the first thing that I would recommend doing if you do have lower stats and want to strengthen another part of your application is to really focus on clinical experience. All of the deans that I talked to really emphasize this as one of the most important things that they are looking for in their applicants. So if your GPA or MCAT isn't as high as you would like it to be, I think one of the easiest ways that you can make up for that is by having a ton of volunteer hours in a hospital, lots of shadowing experience with different types of physicians, and also working in a healthcare setting. Another thing they emphasized was having leadership roles within your clinical experiences or other volunteer or research opportunities. I think leadership is something that can really, really help your application stand out, and it's something that is just hugely important to medical school admissions committees as a whole. I think a lot of pre-meds think about leadership in terms of like being the president of a student org or something like that, but leadership can also be shown by you taking initiative to start various projects and do things that make you the leader of a team. You don't necessarily have to have a fancy title to be a leader. I think that as long as you took initiative and you were the point person in charge of making a project come to life, that is a great way that you can demonstrate leadership qualities. And then my last piece of advice is just really, really prepare for interviews. If you are able to get an interview at a medical school, you have a really good chance of getting in there. Like your odds of admission really go up if you've been given an interview. So you really want to take advantage of that and be prepared to talk very specifically about why you are a perfect fit for that particular school. Definitely do your homework, know everything on the school's website, know about the different programs they offer, how their curriculum is structured, and what their strengths are so you can talk about that specifically in your interview. In addition, there's a lot of questions that are just going to come up in almost every medical school interview, and I have a whole playlist on this, so if you want to take a look, I give some examples of those commonly asked questions that you should definitely be prepared for ahead of time. I hope this helps, and if you'd like any more pre-med advice or want to hear the rest of the interview that I did with the medical school deans of admissions, hit that follow button and check the comments for the video link.